It is time for the ultimate team builder wish list for college football 26. I am extremely excited to make this video. This is going to have some really ambitious ideas, but then also include ideas that they should be putting in anyways. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it. And I'm going to start off with by far the most requested feature, and that is going to be a stadium builder. Yes. EA put the stadium builder in the game. They hopefully have been working on it for a little bit, because I feel like if they're listening to it now, it's probably too late. But stadium builder, this is something that I do think is possible. First of all, this was in Madden 10, so like this was something that was happening over 10 years ago. So to say that this is not possible, that's not true. And also, this is currently in MLB The Show. Like I actually watched a few videos of people building stadiums in that game, and oh my gosh, they give you so much like customization there. Like they give you so much freedom to do. And there really are two different ways. Like let's say they are going to put in a stadium builder. There's really two paths they can go. They can go down the Madden 10 path, where they give you some presets and options, and you can definitely make your stadium unique, but you know, you don't get to change all the details. Or then the MLB The Show thing, where you can literally move the seats around and literally make it however you want. I would be okay with any of these features, but if they did it the Madden 10 way, I'm okay with that as well. But I just think that a stadium builder would just absolutely elevate the team builder experience and just make it so much more enjoyable to create a school, because then you can actually create the environment from scratch that your team will be playing in. I just think that would be a really good idea. So hopefully we get a stadium builder. Now, I do think this is a little unlikely, but I did make a bet with myself and you guys in my previous video where I talked about the must-have features. If they do put in a stadium builder, I will give away 2 copies of College Football 26. So stay subscribed, like the video, you drop a comment. If they put in a stadium builder, I am putting it out right now. I will spend my own money and get you guys 2 copies to give away. So just want to put that out there. So let's move on to the next feature. All right, so the next feature is going to be piggybacking off of the stadium creator, and that is allow stadium upgrades, or allow you to update your stadium. So I think there are a few different ways you could do this. So I definitely think this is only going to be if there's a custom stadium creator. Like I don't think you'll be able to update existing stadiums. I just think because of modeling and all that, that might be a little too difficult. But there should be an option to where you should be able to upgrade or at least update your stadium. So let's say the stadium builders in the game, you should be allowed to create like 2 different stadiums. You should be allowed to create like a standard and then like a deluxe. So let's say you wanted to create a stadium that, or a team that is, you know, not very good. Like you want to build them from the ground up. You can give them a really tiny stadium to start off. Like it's really small, like 20,000 people. And then there can be some sort of event that you put in either in Dynasty or on Team Builder itself that, you know, once you win a national title or you win 2 national titles, it was like this trigger or this event that goes off, and then you get to upgrade your stadium to whatever you have as that deluxe stadium, and now you have a new stadium. I think that would be, again, a really cool feature. Again, it would allow like visual progression. Like you can see that, okay, your team is a lot better now because you have this new stadium and you can do all these new things. I just think, again, that would be really cool, and I think that would be something that's really sick. So again, this is ambitious, but I'm putting these ideas out there. I want you guys to be creative. Again, let me know what some of your thoughts are. And then let's go on to something that I think is a lot, I think is more likely to happen, and that is generic stadiums. I definitely think that EA is going to give us some generic stadiums. Now, is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 10? Is it going to be 20? I don't know. I hope they give us at least 5. That is the bare minimum that I will accept. If they give us 2, I'm going to be disappointed. If they give us 1, I'm going to be very upset. If they don't give us any, EA, what are you doing? But I think giving us generic stadiums could be a way to maybe appease us for a year. Like maybe they started working on a stadium builder and it's just not ready yet. Because I'll be honest, I feel like a stadium creator tool would take a lot of time and effort, because I feel like that is a huge effort to build. So, and I think it would take a lot of resources. So I would be okay if they just gave us a lot of generic stadiums and allow us to put our branding on these stadiums. Like I could understand maybe the legal repercussions of stripping the branding from existing stadiums. If you could do that, that would also be cool too. I would totally take that as well. But while we're on the topic of generic stadiums and let's say custom stadiums, is we should be allowed to pick the crowd themes. And this could also tie into picking like existing stadiums. So let's say you want to pick Penn State Stadium. You should be allowed to use the crowd options, like the crowd themes that are associated with that stadium, because I think they have like quite a bit. Like they have the stripes, they have that single stripe, they have the whiteout. You should be allowed to like click and select which ones you want and then change the colors, and then also put it into these default stadiums or these generic stadiums. Like give us a few different stripe options, or whiteout, blackout, half and half. Give us the options. Let us be able to take advantage of something like that, because again, I want the team builder teams to still feel like getting the full experience in the game. Like I want to be able to have a blackout or something if we're having the biggest game of the year and we're wearing black jerseys for the first time ever. Like that would be, again, really cool feature. I think that would be something that would make a lot of fans happy, and also make people want to use Team Builder more. So that is it for stadiums. So now let's move on to some other features. Moving on to the next features, and this is more talking about like the team details itself. You should be allowed to pick your own fight songs. Like every Team Builder team has that generic, Disney soundtrack. I feel like that's what it is. It sounds like, I think it's actually one school's fight song, but I don't know which one it is. We should be allowed to pick it. Like we should be able to pick any of the 134 and just use it as our own fight song. I was also thinking maybe we could upload our own, but I had some thoughts about what people would put there, and I think there could be some issues there. I think especially with legal issues, like putting in a song that's like copyrighted and not licensed. But I think it would just be an easy compromise to allow us to pick our own fight song from any of the schools that are available. Just do a drop down. It's already in the game. Just let us select it. Another thing is give us custom sounds. So this was something that was in the old Team Builder, where you could basically upload your own sounds. And again, if this is something that could have a potential legal issue, fine. But then let us pick from like the million options that they already created. Like they have so many different like third down, first down, like turnover, celebration sounds. Like they have a bunch of those in the game already. And they do already play those, but it's almost like at random. And I think we should be allowed to pick maybe like 1, 2, or 3, or just have it be like a checkbox. And then another quality of life feature that I think everyone would be very happy with, especially if you are using Team Builder quite a bit and replacing like smaller schools, is allow us to update the metadata or just the actual team details and grades when importing a team. So how it works currently is when you import a Team Builder team, you have to replace a school. And when you replace a school, you basically take over everything that is associated with it. The only thing that's really changing is the logo, the name that's being displayed like in the game, and like the uniforms. But like where it's actually located is still the same. And this is where a huge problem is. So I'm doing a Duval College Dynasty, which is based in Jacksonville, Florida. And I replaced UMass. Now, UMass is in Massachusetts, and obviously my Team Builder school's in Florida, but College Football 25 still sees Duval College as a school in Massachusetts. So whenever I'm doing recruiting, if I'm trying to get proximity to home, I can't recruit Florida guys because it's literally, across the country. The whole thing is that it basically took over all of UMass's features, and same thing with the rivalries. Now there is a way to get around it. If you just replace other Team Builder teams with the rival, then you can technically create rivalries between Team Builder teams. But again, we should be allowed to select that too. And again, allow us to select our grades. This is something that you should just be allowed to just put A, B, C, D. And I think this could really set up for some incredible content opportunities with, creating a school that is all Fs down the board. Like literally the worst school in terms of grades. You're putting them in the middle of nowhere, and make an impossible, rebuild situation. I can imagine Bordeaux trying to do that, like starting off with all Fs, or creating like an absolute like god squad. Like you have all A's, but like you have like a 20 overall roster. Like these are things that you should be allowed to update. Again, also allow us to update rosters and randomize rosters like in the website itself. Again, that would be, again, good quality of life update. But yeah, allow like the general information to carry over to the game. So like if you have a Florida school that you built in Team Builder, it should be a Florida school no matter who you replace. So there's that. Okay, so now we're going back to a incredibly ambitious idea that I was thinking of, and that would be create a conference. Now, this could be something that's in actual Dynasty, but I wanted to put it in Team Builder just so it kind of makes Team Builder feel like this ultimate creation suite. And this would basically work as the same way as the Team Builder would work, where you replace a current team that's in the game with, in this case, you would just replace a conference. So if you wanted to replace your new conference with Conference USA or something, or vice versa, you can do that. And I don't think it would break the functionality, because you're not ruining the scheduling, because you're just swapping the conferences. And you should be allowed to create your own logo. Maybe there's like a generator or some sort of tool that allows you to create a logo really easily. And then you can like select your colors, you can make your patch, or you can see how it's gonna look on the field. You should be allowed to do that. Again, a lot of the conference stuff, most of the time, all it is just the patch, the logo, and then like the grades. That's really it. And again, that should be something that I think would allow a lot of customization, especially if you want to make a team builder conference. Like, what if you want to add in your own, get rid of the Conference USA and then just put in all your team builder teams. You replace all the old teams from Conference USA, replace them with your team builder teams, and now you have like a whole new world of college football. Or if you just want to completely destroy college football altogether and replace all the conferences, again, that would be a really cool feature, and I think would just allow a lot of customization and creativity, and a lot of interesting scenarios. Again, so many content possibilities. And this is the thing, guys, is that when these creators get to make all these kinds of content, it helps EA, because it allows people to see the game, and if they want to try it themselves, they can go ahead and try it, and then obviously they can then get funneled into Ultimate Team and spend money, which in the end, that's what EA wants you to do. But I'm not a proponent of that. But I'm a proponent of having as much customization as possible. That would be a really cool feature. I don't think this is gonna happen. Maybe this is something that could be built into Dynasty itself, but I'm thinking more of the creation suite, like for logos and all that other stuff. Like maybe you can upload your own one. But I do think having like creating your own logo, like in the app or the website, using like simple themes, because a lot of these logos are just two colors and it's just text. So I think it's possible, but who knows? This might be super ambitious anyways. So that is it. Create a conference. That would be another great feature. Now, this is moving on to more specific features, but I think these would, again, really make Team Builder just feel like a better experience overall, especially when creating a school. And that would be allowing us to add in text layers, which I know this seems really specific, but if you're someone that has made many teams in Team Builder, you would understand the frustration with this. You currently can't add in just a simple text layer. What you have to do is you have to open up whatever photo editing app you have, so Photoshop or Illustrator or Canva, and basically type out the text you want, whatever font you want, customize it, and then export it as a PNG. So you have to export it as an image and then upload it as a custom layer and then put it wherever you want. Now, there are a few issues with this. The first thing is that it takes up one of the slots in your custom layers. Like, I know there's a lot of people that create some really intricate designs, and the fact is that these text layers now take up a lot of the valuable space. I think you only get like 12 different layers, and especially when they're all filled up with text layers, there's only so much you can do. And I think just putting the text layers in the actual website would just be so easy to do. Like, add in Google fonts or whatever fonts that's out there, and I think that would just be, again, super easy to add. So like if you want to add some word mark on the chest of your jersey, you should be able to do that. If you want to add a script font on your helmet, you should be able to do that. Super easy. You shouldn't have to make people have to go and open up a photo editing software, which again, not everyone is comfortable doing that. Like, they should make it as easy as possible to do it. This is something that I think was such a big miss that they didn't add in initially. So adding it in to to this version would be a huge plus. And then also, especially for like end zones, because we're throwing in these images into the end zone, I don't think the game understands that. Or obviously it doesn't understand it because it's an image. But like when you play a neutral site, this is another thing. We'll move on to the next feature now. Neutral site end zones, they need to have like text or show the school's name. Like, this is a huge miss, and I honestly was really upset with that they didn't have this. And it really can break the immersion, especially if like when you're like you create a really small school, you're finally making the playoff, or you're finally making the conference championship game, and then you just see a blank end zone. Like it's just so like demoralizing to see, like, oh, like there's really nothing there. Or you make like the Rose Bowl and then you just see like a blank, it's just blank, it's just the color of your school. Now, I do like that carries over, but like just throw in a basic font and then throw the text in there. Like I feel like that could be such an easy, placeholder. I mean, I do think you should have the ability to completely customize it too. Like maybe give us like tabs, or you can customize how each of these, end zones will look in each of the, playoff spots if you want, because I know all of them have like different styles. But if at the very least, make it to where you can like pick a generic font and then it will show up in the game so that you actually can see that. This was something that was in the old Teambuilder. It's not in the current one. Like, that's some things that I think that needs to be fixed. This is definitely a must-have feature for sure. And then moving on to more of the customization is give us more patterns, fonts, and logos to choose from. I do like how they did give us a lot of generic logos, but give us more. Like, let those designers cook, because I know the ones that I see like those graphic designers for EA, they can create some pretty cool logos. Hey, pay them more. Give them some opportunity to make some really cool logos, especially for like, different animals. Like that's something like give us logos for like all the different animals, and then allow us to actually customize it on the main logos. Like that's one thing I noticed is like you can't customize the colors on the main logo that ends up being the one that shows up like on the main screen. Like you can customize it when you throw it on your jersey and such, which that's cool, but why can't you do it on the actual main, your main logo? That is, again, something that I think should be just fix it. Like it should be really easy to do. But allow these great designers to create more logos. That would be great. And look, I'll be honest, the Adobe, whatever that AI thing, it's not it, man. Like I know like it's like supposed to give you an opportunity to do that, but like a lot of those designs are just so janky, because basically what it is like the AI is generating this image and you basically like just import it in, and I don't know, I think it's the stupidest collaboration ever. I think the Adobe Express like logo creation, like I thought it was actually be, a lot cooler, where you can like throw in like a circle and then add in your text and then add in no, it's not like that at all. You like, it's literally just a text prompt and it creates like a stupid logo that doesn't even work, or I don't know, I just don't like it at all, really. I don't think they should even put it in College Football 26 at all. Like I'd rather there be like an actual creation suite. But it just seems like they're being a little lazy. Like they're trying to make Adobe do it, and Adobe's not really. This whole thing isn't made to like create logos. So I think there's a lot that needs to be worked on over there. But then another thing is give us more patterns and fonts to choose from. So that's something that I think that you should be allowed to use all the different fonts that are in the game. So whatever font, like if you want to use Florida State's Unconquered font, you should be allowed to use it. If it's in the game, you should be allowed to select it. I don't care if it's, give us the choices. Like I see like James Madison has a cool font. Let us use it. It's already in the game, guys. Let us pick it and choose it. And then again, yeah, same thing with patterns. I do like how they give us quite a bit of options for stripes and all that, and that is cool. But give us some like generic patterns and stuff that we want to do. Like give us like a checkerboard pattern if we want to just throw it on the shoulders or on the collar, rather than having to go into Photoshop or all these other programs and make it ourselves. Like allow these things to be built into the actual website itself, because I can tell you this, guys, as someone who works in marketing, when people leave your site to do something else, the chances of them coming back is not very high. Like someone could end up leaving your site and trying to create their own graphic, and then it gets annoying and they get frustrated and they just give up. And I want more people to be able to create their own stuff. So that's it there. And then this is going to go into kind of my last few features, and that is give us the opportunity to use current schools as templates. Now, again, this is something that I think should be allowed to do, because imagine if you can just, let's say you could just throw in, like Florida State, for example. You can throw in Florida State and you can customize everything associated with it. You can let's say you want to make like a throwback. You can customize the font, or if you want to customize the helmet, you should be allowed to do that. And then, maybe all the layers may not have to be there, but like you should be allowed to change the color. Like if you want to make a really quick blackout or something, that would be a really interesting feature, because I think it can add a lot more customization rather than just creating your own school. Maybe you can create a current school, but with like a bunch of alternates. Like, I think that could be a really interesting feature where people, instead of actually creating like completely new schools, they can almost create like uniform packs where they can like update current uniforms for a school. And again, I think that could be something that EA could really promote, and I think that would be a really cool feature. I mean, I do like how EA was adding in, you know, all the updated uniforms in the game, especially for free. I really think they weren't going to charge us for it, to be honest. The fact they added them in for free, which was cool. But again, yeah, allowing us to use like a current team as a template would make it so much easier. So yeah. And then lastly, this is my last main feature, is give us like a generator or a randomizer. This is for all different, you know, levels. So from creating the uniforms to creating the rosters, like just allow us to like click a button and it just, you know, switches everything up. Now I think for the uniforms, maybe it can like cycle through a few different templates. Like don't like completely change up all the colors. Like, you know, go through like some presets that allow you to like, you know, pick the right colors, like similar to how it was whenever you were creating a high school in Road to Glory and NCAA 14. Like you could pick the different styles, like allow you to like kind of start with like a base design and then work from there. Again, I think it could be a really interesting option and allow people to kind of start from somewhere and then really build from there, because right now they only have like one, you know, design one design template from the start, and then you just go from there. And I think the jerseys and uniforms are like black by default, so you kind of have to like start from scratch basically. So I do think that would be, you know, a feature that would make it a lot easier for people to be able to create their, you know, own masterpiece and get inspiration. And then I guess finally last feature, give us a better preview. Give us a better preview of the team. Show the field, and you know, and then also all the patches that would show up in different conferences. So like pick your conference and it shows the patch on the jersey, so how it's gonna look. And then also the stadium, show the different crowds. Like again, I think that would be, you know, a super good quality of life feature. But I think that's gonna be it, guys. Those are all my features. That is my whole wish list for College Football 26. Let me know what your wish list is for Teambuilder. If you have any questions and or comments, let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to, again, leave a comment, because, again, if they add in the Stadium Builder, I'm going to be giving away 2 copies of College Football 26. But that's going to be it, guys. Hope you enjoy. Other than that, it's been Jagnal, and I'll see you guys next time.